This is Democracy Now! I'm Amy Goodman as we continue our look at the weekend of events in Birmingham, Alabama, celebrating Angela Davis. More than 3,000 people came to Birmingham's Boutwell Arena for the Birmingham Committee for Truth and Reconciliation's event to honor her on Saturday evening. Organizers arranged the event in response to the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute's decision to rescind the Fred Shuttlesworth Human Rights Award it had offered to Davis. The Institute later reversed this decision, and it's hoping she will return to accept the award soon. But Saturday night's event featured a conversation between Dr. Angela Davis and Princeton professor Imani Perry, who is also from Birmingham. Dr. Perry opened the conversation.
So let's begin with how we got here today. You were to receive a humanitarian award from the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. That award was rescinded before being reinstated. But when it was rescinded, the people of Birmingham, Alabama, immediately responded.
You know, I have never loved Birmingham as much as I love Birmingham at
this moment. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about that process, and in particular, what we learn, both about history, but also about the present, by virtue of what happened.
You know, I didn't have a chance to get mic'd like you, Imani, because I wanted to see everything that happened before I came on.
Yes.
So, and it is really a joy to be here this evening. I want to thank everyone for coming out. People in Birmingham, from Alabama, and I know my friends and comrades are here from New York and Chicago and Oakland and all over the country. So thank all of you for being here this evening. It almost feels as if we're marking a new beginning.
Yes.
And what I can say is that, of course, when I learned that I was to receive the Shuttlesworth Human Rights Award from the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, I was overcome with joy. Reverend Shuttlesworth has always been one of my heroes, and I have always admired those, especially Odessa Woolfolk,
yes,
who had the vision that led to the creation of the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. And so I want to say from the very beginning that I don't want to do anything that can damage the future of this very important institution in our community. But I was surprised to hear that later they decided to rescind the award. And then when I discovered that it might have something to do with my involvement over many years in efforts to advocate for justice for Palestine, it became clear to me that this might actually be a teachable moment.
yes.
That as much as the whole controversy might have, at least for the moment, damaged the reputation of those who made that decision, that we might seize this moment to reflect on what it means to live on this planet in the 21st century, and our responsibilities not only to people in our immediate community, but to people all over the planet.
Yes.
And of course, in occupied Palestine, Black people especially owe a great deal to Palestinians who have been struggling for decades and decades and refuse to give up. They are an inspiration to people who are fighting for freedom everywhere on the planet.
Yeah.
So did I answer your question, Imani?
Yes, and relatedly though, because I think that there is a misperception that is fairly widespread in this moment that is important for us to talk about, that solidarity with Palestinian people does not mean one is anti-Semitic or does not also have solidarity with Jewish people, right? And yesterday, I think it was yesterday, there was a national solidarity Shabbat for you, right? And for those who aren't aware, Shabbat is the Sabbath ritual for Jewish people, right? And one of the things that they said as part of the solidarity Shabbat, right, is Angela, you are welcome at this Shabbat. Can you tell us about the significance of that, both the phrase itself, but also for you as a person who has been engaged in struggles for justice that are international for the majority of your life?
Well, first of all, I know that Jewish Voice for Peace has done an incredible job. Not only at this particular moment, but in general, creating a very powerful movement among Jewish people.
Yes.
I was, by the way, just speaking at Brandeis last week. I went to Brandeis University, which was founded in the same year as the State of Israel. And I often point out that I learned about Palestine at a Jewish university.
Right.
And so Jewish Voice for Peace has done an amazing job over the last years, bringing people together, all over the country. So when I heard about this Shabbat, I said, well, first of all, it made me feel really humble, because I don't really think of myself as being special. Now, hold on for a second. Let me say what I have to say. I think that a lot of work that has been accomplished by organizations and movements and huge numbers of people gets projected onto individuals.
Okay.
I know we often assume that when we speak of the civil rights movement, immediately, who comes to mind?
Right. Okay.
Dr. King. And of course, Dr. King was a powerful figure, but he did not create the civil rights movement.
Right.
And I think particularly at this moment in our history, when we are so influenced by the neoliberal ideologies of global capitalism, we have to figure out ways in which we can contest this individualism.
That's right. Yeah.
That shapes the way we think about the world.
Yes.
So what I want to say is that I'm happy to be here. But I think it's important that you know that I am simply standing in for the work that was done by vast numbers of people, thousands and millions of people all over the country and all over the world. And so that is how I read the Shabbat.
Okay.
and the slogan, Angela, sister, you are welcome in this house. Angela, sister, you are welcome in this Shabbat, comes from a slogan that was used on many posters all over the country when I was underground fleeing the FBI. So people put up these posters on their doors, Angela, sister, you are welcome in this house. And you have to realize that the only reason people are familiar with my name and my history today is because people did that work of organizing the movement to save my life back in the 1970. Well, it started in 1969 when Ronald Reagan fired me from my job. But, I don't know why I always end up in the middle of these situations. I really never asked to be at the center of it all. I was very happy to be organizing on the sidelines and doing the work to promote someone else, but somehow or another, I have no idea.
Why at the center?
I have no idea why. And even now, at age 75, here I am again. But I can tell you that what I've always tried to do is to utilize the moment, to take advantage of the particular arena. And I think we're doing this here this evening. I was scheduled to be here on February 16th, and what is this date?
February 16th.
And here I am.
Yes.
Not because of anything I myself did, but because of the amazing organizing work of the Birmingham Committee for Truth and Reconciliation. So thank all of you who were involved in organizing this event this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome former Mayor of Birmingham, Dr. Richard Arrington, Jr.
Thank you very much. What a powerful, what an important moment of Black history we have shared here this evening. I'm to be very brief, and so let me just reiterate what brought this committee together, and I will do that just by reading what I've jotted down here. This event began with a misunderstanding or a difference of opinion that sent shockwaves throughout our community and did not represent what we stand for and believe. There comes a time when a community must stand united and speak forcefully and with clarity about who we are. I am especially proud that in this moment of challenge, we ran not in different directions, not venting the anger and the frustration we felt. Instead, we ran to one another, linked arms, embraced one another, and lifted up a daughter who is celebrated in the world community for her stand on human rights. So I close by saying, we wanted to show our solidarity with her. We wanted to show it across generational and social lines. We wanted old people like me, distinguished community leaders like our judges and business leaders who you've heard from this evening, our millennials, our school children, and the dynamic young Black women God has blessed us with. We wanted to all stand together in that same spirit that I'm sure runs in the bloodline from our ancestors from that fateful day of August 1619 in Jamestown. Hope everybody knows that. Jamestown 69. This is a spirit and bloodline that flows from our ancestors through each of us and through every one of our generations. Thank you.
Former Birmingham, Alabama Mayor Richard Arrington, the first African-American mayor of Birmingham, at an event Saturday honoring Angela Davis. When we come back, we'll hear from the head of the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, who is hoping that Angela Davis will return to receive the Fred Shuttlesworth Award. Back in a minute.